Good evening. This is a very special show. It is Tuesday, the 16th of January, 2024. It's 8:30 p.m. UK time. It's 9:30 p.m. Central European time. And today I am in conversation with Franko, Matjia, and also with Sol Beda about the film Funk You, which is a journey that Franko took to find an exclusive rare 45 from Yugoslavia. And along the way, he's met some amazing people, amazing story about vinyl. And we're going to be talking to them all in a few minutes. But before that, we have to start off a 10-minute mini 45 set from Sol Beda to get you in the mood for the sort of music that you're going to be hearing and talking about. But here we go.
Ti možeš sam paziti da je to, kako bi rekao, da nije preglasno da ne klika, ali imaš negdje. Ne, zgaši se, gledam.
Šta je? Mislim da bi to trebao Criztoz. Možda bi to trebao Criztoz.
Da, nek, jel imamo ovu grupu? Ne znam, kožiš, kod ide išta. Ne, gasi sam bio.
Good evening, DJ Function.
i ljubim lice belo, hej. Hej mala, hej, makar znalo društvo celo, hej. Jer ako nećeš ti, hoće druge tri. Ako nećeš ti, hoće druge tri. Ako nećeš ti, mala, hoće druge tri. Ako nećeš ti, mala, hoće druge tri. Ali ja hoću samo tvoje oči, lice belo, pametni odnelo, šta ću sad? Ali ja hoću samo tvoje oči, lice belo, pametni odnelo, šta ću sad? Ako nećeš ti, hoće druge tri. Ako nećeš ti, hoće druge tri. Jer ako nećeš ti, hoće druge tri. Ako nećeš ti, hoće druge tri. Ovo je priča o ludoj glavi, o mladiću što čudesa pravi. Iako je prošlo vreme davnih čuda, stvorit će ih naša glava luda. Ta je bata je tatka mata za sve zlotvore, ubojice, narkomane, drogce, lopove. Ta će bata
Been a great selection already.
biti, iz inata svakog smrpiti.
Just a little intro from Soul Beta.
Gde su sva ta čuda? Hrabrost to je čudo, kad se bori on se poludo. Gde su sva ta čuda? Ljubav to je čudo, kada ljubi on sve ljubi ludo. Taj baka je tata mata za sve mačkice, crne, plave, riče, smeće, ženske značkice. Taj će bata iz inata svaku ljubiti, iz inata svaku ljubiti. Ta je bata je tata mata za sve mačkice, crne, plave, riče, smeće, ženske značkice. Taj će bata iz inata svaku ljubiti, iz inata svaku ljubiti. Para pa pa pa, iz inata svaku ljubiti. Da 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 da, iz inata svaku ljubiti.
Get one more after this one. I'm enjoying this one. This is funky.
smije, što ruža nije dobra, u svom planu krije cvijet, u kom spava crna kobra.
So good, so good. Wow, what a way to start the show. So this is, as I said at the beginning, myself, Criztoz, in conversation with Franko, Matjia, and Sol Beda about the film Funk You. And we're going to hear a little bit more about it in a minute. We're just going to check the microphones, make sure they're all cool.
1, 2, 1, 2.
Yes, I can hear you.
Hello.
There we
Oh, you
go.
can hear us loud and clear, right?
Yes, really
Oh.
loud and clear. That's good. Great to
Oh,
hear you.
that's really good.
Okay, so before we go too much further, I'm going to just ask you all to do a quick introduction, explain who you are, and then what your involvement is with the film, and then obviously we'll talk about special topics. So, Franko, do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. But first, thanks for having us on the show. It really means a lot to us. This is like the first first introduction that non-Balkan audiences get of the
Yeah.
film.
Quite
So-
exclusive.
Yeah, it's quite exclusive.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm Franko. I'm the director of this motion picture.
Hence the suit.
Yeah, I'm more dressed like the producer, but that's it's not important. I'll hand over the mic to the producer. Actually,
Okay.
So yeah, I'm actually the producer with the more casual T-shirt, you know.
Yeah.
But I guess that's fine. That's how the roles change in 21st century. So that's okay. Well, hello everyone. My name is Matjia Drnikovic. I'm one of two producers of the film. The other one is Tamara Babun, and we're actually at the offices of Volgan and Dolly, and that's the production company behind the whole film. And you can see clearly it is spectacular.
Really amazing. I mean, I love the chairs. I also love all the decorations, and I'm assuming lots of books and lots of old photos behind.
Yeah, this is the combination, you know, of IKEA chairs with a really, really old furniture behind us. So it's I don't know how to classify it, but it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it looks good. It looks good. And finally, Sol Beda.
Sol Bader, the DJ, hence the tracksuit. I'm one of the characters in the movie and also a DJ for a decade or two. Who counts? So yeah, I'll be backing up with music.
Yeah, and thank you obviously for the sort of a little introduction mini set, but the way we're going to do it, we're going to sort of talk about a particular topic to do with the film, and then obviously you're going to play us a 45, and then we'll sort of go back and forth so that we can get a real feel for the music as well, because there's obviously clips that we'll play of the trailer, but obviously it's better to get a feel, just like now, hearing such amazing music. I have to ask you a question. One of those songs was called Mr. Elton John, is that right?
Yeah, it's actually Zdenka Kovačiček, but it's the track name is Hello, Mr. Elton John.
And so what is what is that record about? What is she talking about?
It basically is about Elton John and the inspiration. But the thing you should know about Zdenka, she has the greatest funk scream when it comes to the ladies in the Balkans.
Okay.
So we even gave her a name, the first scream of the Balkan funk and soul.
Amazing. Yeah, I mean that was great. And as soon as I heard the words Elton John, I was
Yeah,
like, wow.
that's why I tried to put the covers so you can
Yeah.
actually see her
Yeah.
in
No,
the
that was
early days
was a
and the
great
track.
way to start the show. Okay, so let's do the first sort of topic, and I think this is to do with an introduction and to explain the plot of the film and how it came about. So I think Franko, perhaps you do this topic.
yeah, sure.
It just says quick sentence. I didn't see a production company crazy enough that would actually record a documentary about funk music. I was searching for 45. So thanks to Wolfgang and Dolly, because nobody can actually believe it. It actually happened.
And
Yeah,
it looks great. It looks good. The clips I've seen look great. But yeah, so tell us about it. How did it
thank
come
you.
about?
Yeah, my first idea was to tell a story about Yugoslav funk because I'm fascinated by the obscure music from Yugoslavia. And there's here on the Balkans, when you talk about Yugoslav music, you basically talk about 90% of the time you talk about new wave music, which was really, really popular in Yugoslavia. And you have countless books and documentaries. You even have a museum here in Zagreb, the Museum of New Wave. And nobody talks about the other, the other genres of Yugoslav music. And I wanted to like to tell to people that Yugoslav music was much more than new wave. And at the time, I heard the sounds of Yugoslav funk. I was listening to Radio Nula. It's a Ljubljana-based radio, internet radio, where they play like nonstop funk and soul and hip hop. And suddenly, I heard, I was listening to funk, and between James Brown and stuff like that, I heard someone singing, in my own language, and I was fascinated by it because I didn't know it actually existed. And I started to dig a little deeper, and I thought maybe this could make a good movie, to tell people about it. But I figured out I didn't want to do like a factual documentary where I go and tell people, oh, the context of a particular record. I wanted to do some subjective, more personal story. And then it came about as I am myself a collector of vinyl records. I couldn't find this particular one, um, and that became like the basis of the story. Like the search for the holy grail of Yugoslav funk. I couldn't find it in real life, so I based the whole story of the movie behind it. So basically, in the movie, my character, that is the character that I'm playing, is traveling
Yeah.
throughout Yugoslavia in search for this one particular record, and meets a lot of other diggers, collectors, musicologists, and so on, and they all talk about like their personal connection with vinyl records.
It's an amazing thing because we all have this passion for collecting and records and music, and considering it's a format that's been around this year, certainly 7-inch record, it's 75 years old this year.
Yep.
It's crazy that it's still bringing people together. And when I sort of found out about the film, the thing that intrigued me was the fact that you were going and making connections with DJs, with other collectors, which is basically what I've done. Gone and make connections with other people, and it's
Yeah.
it's amazing that a format of music or a particular song or a particular record can bring people together, and that's what's going to be so important about the story.
Yeah, exactly. And I see it like I'm doing my part, for that micro scene
Yeah,
that all brought these people together. And my primary medium is actually film, so I'm going to contribute to the micro scene through the film. I'm not a musician, obviously. I'm not a DJ. Yeah, that's like my contribution to the culture,
yeah, and
the way as I see it.
it's recording a piece of history and time, isn't it? Because I
Yeah.
talk about this a lot. Every record is a piece of history. It's been pressed at a certain time, pressed in a certain plant. You are holding, and I think that's why vinyl is so important. I think.
Yeah, and that's actually one of the characters from the film I interviewed is actually talking about when you're holding the vinyl record, you're holding a piece of history.
Yeah,
You listen to it as someone from the 70s or 80s or 60s intended it to sound like. So yeah, it's intriguing.
Yeah, it's amazing. Okay, great. Shall we have another song? Do you want to put another one on,
Do
Solbeda?
you wanna?
Yeah, now that we bring back the topic about the years, maybe it's a good way to start with 68.
Okay.
I'm gonna hold Franco's Holy Grail a little bit longer.
Yep.
So let's start our music trip by hearing the 45 from Belgrade from 68. It's called Velja Marcikic, Jadna Mama. He's talking about mama, but actually he's talking about a girl. It's really actually dirty song. It's quite soulful, and I did
Okay.
search for this 45 for years, and actually now Yugo funk was really popular in Croatia and ex-Yugoslavian countries 5 years ago, but now it lost the momentum. Corona and change of generation helped it, but now they're slowly coming back to the discogs for some funny prices that was not even imaginable a few years ago. So when this documentary comes out, the price is gonna rise again.
The
I'm
prices are going to
sure.
go up.
Okay, just give me 15 seconds and we'll
Yeah, no
switch to
problem.
the.
I'm going to I'll change the settings, and while we're doing that, I will just say hello to a few people who we have in the chat. We had Billy MPO earlier, first time chatter, welcome in. Navenzen, I think. And then we've got Double P as well, and we had DJ Function and a few other people. Welcome in if you're a first time viewer. We've also got Matt Baylor as well. There we go. Welcome in, Matt. Matt's been on the show before. That's great. Right, let's hear this. Solbeda, drop this record.
Jadnu mamu uši pes, u kafani vodim ples. Ja i čaša, čudan par, ali zato treba da. Dok ne svane, traje ples, iz kafane vičem, je, Mama, mama, jadna mama, mama, jadna mama, kakva stvar, za tu igru imam dar. Ako neko mrsilom, nek požuri domu svom. Možda tamo žena čeka, tamo teba iz daleka. Moju mamu uši bez, dok ne svane vičem, je. Mama, jadna mama, mama, jadna mama, mama, jadna mama,
That's an awesome record.
It's actually called Poor Mama, Soul Butter says.
He's talking
Well,
about
you said he's not talking about his mama, he's talking about a girl.
poor mama, but then they're making the making the crash in the club and having fun and drinking, and it's like I like this trick a lot.
Okay, cool. Right, we're going to move. I'm going to slightly change the order of the next topic because I think, Matjia, let's hear from you a little bit as one of the two producers. So in terms of making the movie, tell us about how did this concept or this idea, did Franko approach you, and what was your initial thoughts, and why did you go with the project?
Well, I joined the project a bit later, but everything started back in 2017, if I'm not mistaken, when Franko decided to approach Tamara. and for some unbelievable reasons, she said, "Yes, let's do this film." I have no idea what she had in her mind back then, but I'm really glad that she accepted the project and she decided to jump on it. I knew Franco, back from the Academy of Dramatic Art. We studied together. He was a couple of years older than me, so we kind of saw each other, in the halls of the academy, and he was always that kind of cool, funky guy, I guess. That yeah, I'm gonna call him like I'm gonna characterize him like that.
Okay.
So yeah, the journey started back in 2017. So it's oh my god, it's like 7 years now. Seven
Yes.
years now.
We don't count the 2 years or 3 years for COVID. So it's only 5 years ago.
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, but yeah, it started back in 2017. Um, and there were a lot of things happened in between. So we got some funding from our national fund. Then we got some additional funding from Montenegro. So I think the recognition from this region actually realized really quickly, and so people really liked the film a lot. And COVID affected us a lot, definitely. So I like to forget about those years as well because we couldn't travel at all. We just finished shooting a part of the film in Montenegro, and then everything closed down because of COVID. We had to actually reschedule our shooting in the Netherlands twice, and we never actually did that. So a lot of things happened, in between, but somehow we're nearly at the very end. We visited many countries with Franco, so the film was shot in Croatia, Slovenia, Serbia, Macedonia, and Montenegro. So a lot of ex-Yugoslavian countries are part of this film, and it was definitely an epic journey that's almost at the very end.
And yes, so first of all, traveling to all those countries is one thing, but obviously traveling with all the film equipment and a team, because it's not just like one person and a phone. This is a proper professional film, isn't it? So was there a lot of difficulties with that, going through all these many countries?
Well, we would like to believe we are professional, so thank you for that. Yeah, we brought usually a camera or two with us. Um, I think generally I like to remember it as a really fun experience, but I imagine it wasn't always easy, especially for Franco. Maybe okay, he's satisfied. That's good. But I think that we had a really great community available for us. So whenever actually we knocked on some doors, there were some people who were more than willing to help us. So yeah, this micro community you were talking about before, the first set of Badr. I think it's really there, it's really here, and without those people this film couldn't be possible, and they really helped us a lot in making this film. And of course we had a great crew as well. There was a cinematographer, Fran Pamic, who was here. Tomislav Krnic was also during development, and Daniel Brulas, editor of the film, who's been stuck in the editing room for quite some time. So yeah, without a great team you cannot do anything. And the same thing applies in funk music and in filmmaking as well.
Yes, and it's you've built a small community, a team to sort of work together. But it's interesting finding these other little communities. Like you say, you'd knock on someone's door and they'd be more than happy to help. And do you think that's because of the passion for music and the passion for vinyl? Do you think that's why these people are so willing to open up and help you?
Absolutely, yeah. I think that this kind of music definitely brings people together, and I think that a lot of credit goes to Badr and the community that he achieved with some other people, with the funk delegation. And when we some of well one of the first things that I actually remember when meeting Badr was this big party they had as a funk delegation. There were like 16 18 different DJs, yeah, playing music all night long. And in some club in Zagreb, and a lot of people were so passionate and excited about the music and about that party. And I remember, we did like we came there a bit late with the camera. We shot some things for the film, and I was completely blown, with the enthusiasm that we were presented with. It's like, I mean, at least for me, because I feel like, at least at the beginning of the making this film, I always, felt like an outsider, like the person, I wasn't. I actually didn't even have a gramophone, before this film. I had only one record, and so it was like a crazy experience for me to actually discover that this world exists, and that it exists in my neighborhood. Basically, it's a
How,
truly, I don't know. It's a really wonderful experience.
how many records do you have now? You said you had one before.
Around 10 to 15.
Okay, so
But
that's okay. You haven't gone too crazy. I was
yeah,
expecting you to say, "I now have like 1,000 records."
not yet,
And no
but
money.
and no money.
One day.
But half of those records are Taylor Swift, because my wife is a really big fan of Taylor Swift.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Right. Let us have better. Let's have another record, and then after that, we'll talk about another topic with you.
Okay. Now I want to go with the Slovenian one.
Okay.
So, as you figured, the Elton John. This one is actually called Lady. It's Tom Jones' track. It's Dama in Slovenian, Croatian, and Serbian. But as you can clearly see on the record, Paul Anka is written down. So basically, you're gonna hear the Slovenian version of the "She's a Lady."
Oh, a cover. Amazing. Yes. Let's hear that.
Because I can just say a few more words. Because back then, I think this record is from '71, right? Back then, as Yugoslavia was quite a close country, they would hear some great track from the world, and they would just go to the studio over the night. They would have like studio time 2 or 3 hours, not more, and they would just quickly translate the track and just do the cover of it. Sometimes it ended up really funky.
And
You will hear it.
did they often get the words right, or is some of it
It
translated
was a
wrong?
free translation.
A free
Very,
translation.
very free translation.
So
And
just the
I'll
chorus.
even play later. We have covers of Brian Auger and Julie Driscoll.
Oh yes.
Completely crazy. I was looking
Yes.
for
Yes.
that 45 for years because I'm a true fan of Julie, the
Yes. Me
greatest
too. Me too.
female vocal available.
Okay, let us just set this setting up here. Here we go. Okay, so this is our second song that Solbait is playing, and then we'll go back to the chat.
Če sem z njo, sem brez skrbi, ker se znajdem med ljudmi in me podpira. Če grem z drugo mimo nje in čeprav iz tem srce ne reagira. Ker je dama, ker je dama, vsak jo spoštuje, saj je dama, moja dama je to. Če jo žalim, če sem drog, bi pokazala nebo, da je nesrečna. Počakala bo tak dan, da spet pridem nasmejan, dovolj dosrečna. Ker je dama, ker je dama, vsak jo spoštuje, saj je dama, moja dama je to. Nikdar mi ne reče ne, kadar jo obišem, priče se in zvezde moj, najde mi kariše. Zlato srce ima, daje mi poputo, vedno se vračam tja, ker varen sem opjet. In če bi da sem lagal, mi bo vendar dala prav, I cię padał po kapiołko, my długo tej niebomi powstali. Keje dama, keje dama, już kosztuje swoje dama, moja dama jest to, saje dama, saje dama, sapios kosztuje saje dama, moja dama jest to, saje dama.
I mean, that's amazing. I mean, I love covers. And there's another DJ, Sam Tweaks, who we've done some covers version raid trains on Twitch. And that is one that I certainly don't have. I'm sure he doesn't either. But that is he's Welsh, so obviously loves Tom Jones. So it's great to hear
I know about the same.
a Serbian.
Some got 45 from his edits also.
Yeah, I mean it's amazing. It's amazing. Okay, so I'm going to say hello to Calextras Cafe and also to Twitch as well. Right, so Bader, the next topic is you. When we sort of discussed a little while ago about how and what we were going to do on the show, one of the things you said that was important is to sort of try and get the context and politics surrounding the film and music and Yugoslav music out so people can understand what's been going on. So do you want to talk to us about that topic?
Actually, I hate talking about the politics, but I love the context. So
Yeah.
this is quite necessary. Okay, back before Yugoslavia was quite close country and it was self-sustainable. Let's say it consisted of all these countries that Franko traveled to, and like I said, they would just hear the tracks because you couldn't hear the "She's a Lady." It would be really difficult. So and the knowledge of the English language was way lesser than now. Actually, right now Zagreb is, I think, in top 3 European countries when it comes to speaking English. So what they would do, they would just, like I said, had like 1 or 2 hours of studio time, just do the record, and actually still sounds amazing. Well, I want to talk about the politics, is just to say, like, that's my opinion. When it comes to democracy, and I'm a Democrat, it seems to me that the government has only the short-term plan, which is 4 years just to get the next 4 years. But back in Yugoslavia or socialism, you had the ruler that was trying to stick for 30 something years, and actually they would have a long-term strategy. So everything that was built in Croatia and all of the other countries was built back then.
Yeah.
It comes to the architecture, the urbanistic plans of growth, which we do not have now. So the basic, when it comes to culture, it was way more authentic and bolder than it is now, because now democracy is always connected to free market.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
the supply and demand, the marketing, that's my job.
Definitely.
So I would just like to stop here because I don't want this show to turn up in the politics.
No, but like
So
you said, I think it's
let's stick to the
important.
music, because after that we had the war and it took us a decade to come back together, and finally we can all listen to this music heritage that we now have.
And I guess because of obviously the things you were talking about and the war and all of that, probably a lot of the music was lost or thought to be lost. Is that right?
Well, not to my knowledge, actually. I mean, there's
Forgotten,
maybe forgotten, because there's not a lot of like record keepings of who's the author, who's the lyricist, who are the musicians is basically awful in every ex-Yugoslav country. There are no like archives, and we actually are having some difficulties obtaining rights for music licensing,
Yeah.
because we cannot find out who are these people, who are the authors. So basically, the record keeping is pretty awful. There's not a lot of encyclopedias about music, so diggers are here, and that's what Bader is talking about in the film, that diggers are here to rediscover this music.
Yeah.
It's always here. Someone has it in his attic or basement or something, but diggers are here like to rediscover this old music and bring it to like second life.
Definitely.
Time had to do its part, because after the war it all needed to settle down for like at least 10-20 years, so we can all go back to this music and to remember these times without any bad emotions. So only after, I think, 2010, people started to listen to Yugoslav music again, because before then I think it was still too early, and a lot of change of generations, of course.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I guess, if the music reminded them of past times, then obviously if they were looking back, they would have been thinking of the awful things that happened. Yeah. Okay. I think what we'll do, if Solbada, you want to play one more record, and then what we'll do is we'll play the trailer, I think, and then we can talk a little bit about some of the other people involved in the film and some of the diggers you came across.
And what is this record, Bader? The record is Srđan Marjanović.
We're going back to Serbia again. This is quite a rare record, and he's talking about his girl. I don't know how to say, his babe.
There's a theme coming. The last one was talking about his girl as well.
Back then, you were always
That's what you talked about.
about the love or the broken heart. There was none of the other. So yeah, this is from 1973. This was actually my favorite year when it comes to music.
Cool. Let us have a listen to this.
Imam jednu malu ja, zajedno smo svaki dan, ali uvek svađamo se mi, sve zbog nekih glupih stvari. Ja kažem da, a ona ne. Ja kažem da, ona se smeje. Kažem da, a ona ne. Ja kažem da, ona se smeje. I tako sve iz dana u dan, mala plače, a ja sam tužan. Ne znam zašto dolazi do tog, pa upitam oca svog. Ja kažem da, a ona ne. Ja kažem da, ona se smeje. Kažem da, a ona ne. Ja kažem da, ona se smeje. Nađi drugu, nemoj ići s njom. Nije lepa, veruj tati svom. Ali ipak kažem ocu ja, kad poraste bit će moja. Kažem da, a ona ne. Ja kažem da, ona se smeje. Kažem da, a ona ne. Ja kažem da, ona se smeje. Ja kažem da,
Wow.
Just let me do the lyrics. She says yes. No, I say yes. She says no, no. Then she's explaining the relationship with his girlfriend.
It was a very different time, obviously, back then.
Yeah.
We have DJ Babs in the house, and she says one of her most prized 45s is Baby Doll, Mustafa Na Planeti. And she was a
Yeah.
Yugoslav act. She'd like to know if you have any more information about that artist.
Baby doll. I do not.
Is she still alive?
Not sure, to be honest.
And we're not sure if she's still alive
We
though.
can double check because actually, like it is explained in the movies, you have diggers, collectors, and the DJs. And I'm the DJ. I'm the DJ. So I just
And it's amazing because we also have Matt Baylor as well, and he says he also has a copy of that 45. So it's obviously a popular 45
Baby doll.
in Canada and also in the UK.
Hoppa.
So
That's a
interesting.
nice exchange of information.
Yeah, right. Let
And
us now. Oh, go on, Franco.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
gonna say
it's like a good cue to our next topic because that record Mustafa by Baby Doll. When I talked to the other characters from the movie Tetkin Radosti from Slovenia, they say they are really sick of that that particular song because every time they do a party, every time they play music and do a party, every time there's always somebody that asks for this record. Can you play Mustafa? Can you play Mustafa? And they're so sick of it right now.
Yeah, amazing. That's
It's quite,
hilarious.
rare and very expensive record. So keep it, Bubs.
Yeah, definitely keep it. And Matt Baylor. Right, we're gonna play the trailer so people can see what the film's about, and then we'll talk a bit more about it. So let me just add that in here now.
Ovo je Franko, redatelj ovog dokumentarnog filma, a ovo je njegova probrana kolekcija jugoslavenskih funk ploča. U njoj kronično nedostaje ona najvažnija. I sad kao Franko kreće u potragu ne bi li ju našao. I na kraju ispričao priču o pločama i funku u Jugoslaviji. U potrazi će mu pomoći razni živopisni štovatelji plastičnih ploča.
Meni ovo pruža ogromno fetišističko zadovoljstvo baratanjem, diranjem, gledanjem, pipanjem, vrčenjem.
Na svom putovanju naučit će i kako je Jugofunk danas postao i više od glazbe.
Zbral so se folk iz Oseka, Beograda, Novega Sada in oni so mene klicali in mi odpeli, ima vremena za ljubav, ima vremena za zborčak, meni to odpoje. Ja sam malo da solzico spustil.
Neće naučiti ništa u DJ-anju, ali će naučiti vrijednu lekciju zašto skupljamo svašta.
Ti kad imaš gramofon, ti onda imaš jedan ritual koji moraš da ispoštuješ. Bukvalno kao da dolaziš pred božanstvom.
I ono što je najvažnije, neće odustati od potrage.
There you go. I mean, it looks amazing. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, and obviously we've got some stills from some of the characters on there. So maybe let's do that for the moment. So let me just make this like this. So tell us who that is, and tell us a little bit about the story when he became part of the film.
Sure. I'll just do a quick one. I just checked when you're showing the trailer. I just checked some facts about Baby Doll.
Okay.
The author of Mustafa, to answer the question. Yeah, she's still alive. Actually, she's a Serbian singer, and Mustafa was her first hit. And she actually represented Yugoslavia on Eurovision in 1991, and that's like. That's the last appearance of socialist Yugoslavia on Eurovision, and she had the song called Brazil, and it's like like a bossa nova influenced track, so that's interesting.
Amazing. I wonder if that's on 45. Maybe Matt Baylor.
I think it is. Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah. Well, there you go. We can try and search that.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah.
Anyway.
There you go. It's an educational, inspirational show.
Yeah.
But yes, tell us who this is
Anyway.
and this part of the story.
Yeah. So this is Jerko. He is like an antique hunter. And in the film, my character or the character of Franco sees his commercial on TV. He is advertising his skills in finding rare things, and
Okay.
he brings Franco to this journey. He's basically like the mentor. Like I based the plot of the movie I based on the traditional hero's journey, so
Yes.
you can like see it as
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Lord of the Hobbit is maybe more accurate representation, and Yerko would be Gandalf in this in this instance, like the master who is you know uh, bringing the main character into this world.
Amazing. That's cool. Okay. Next one. Peter.
Uh,
Peter. How do you say it?
Peja,
Peja.
that's Peja, yeah.
Peja.
Peja is actually his main job is like YouTuber. I think, yeah. No, I hope he's not offended by this classification.
But actually, his Peja is really important because he has a YouTube channel with over 50K followers.
Wow. Wow.
That he would be digging the records and he would be putting them on YouTube, so they get a bigger audience.
Yeah,
Amazing.
so Peja is like a main go-to guy when you're first starting to research about Yugoslav music. Peja's page on YouTube is like the first stop, because he has like the best repository of Yugoslav music you can find on a single page. His page is Peja Radovic, so you can look him up on YouTube.
Amazing. Amazing. Yeah, definitely. I mean, to amass 50K subscribers is amazing on YouTube, but also to be able to put this music, like you say, and this is part of the film as well, is putting this music a bit more in the mainstream, if possible, which is still
Yeah,
niche, but obviously it's getting that music out and getting it heard, because as you said, otherwise it wouldn't be remembered.
yeah, definitely. He's doing God's work here.
Yeah. So, who do we have here?
This is Tosho Filipovski. He's a collector and musicologist from Macedonia, and he's like a living encyclopedia of particularly Macedonian music, but all Yugoslav music in general. And he actually released, I think, like 3 or 4 books about Macedonian and Yugoslav music. And he was like he was the last person I actually did an interview for the film. And I was quite didn't know who I would reach out to Macedonia, because they have a few really known DJs, Čvare and Goce. Yeah, shout out to Čvare and Goce.
Yeah, yeah,
But
gotcha.
we
Yeah.
had like enough of we had a lot of DJs actually in the film up to that point. So we reached out to Toshe, and he gave us a whole new like perspective on why he collects, why does one collect things. And he was really a refreshment to the whole movie, because he actually he doesn't his primary music is punk and new wave, maybe. And but he says that he collects music from all genres, because he feels like it's his duty to his country and his cultural heritage to archive this music. And he says, I
Yeah.
think that's like a direct quote from the film. He says that that is basically the job of the state, to archive this cultural heritage. But the state, or Macedonia or Croatia or Serbia or whatever, doesn't do that. And he
No.
doesn't have like enough time to wait for it to the state to come around. So he does it himself. He actually collects it, curates it, archives it, and he actually makes books about it, so future generations can have more information about it.
That is amazing and interesting. You're talking about archives, because I saw recently that I think it's some duplicates from the BBC vinyl vaults are going up for auction very soon. Because obviously,
Oh
like you
boy.
say, if the state doesn't do it, what's going to happen to this music? Eventually,
Yeah.
it's just going to disappear, because with this film, there's three parts to it, isn't it? There's it appeals to DJs, it appeals to diggers, and also then collectors, and they're all people think of them as the same thing, but they're not. They're all completely
Yeah,
different. They've all got
completely
completely different
different. Yeah.
motivation. You can be a DJ and also a collector, but you may not be a digger, and all the rest of it. There's very few people who are doing all three. And that's what's interesting, because then obviously you said you had quite a few DJs. And we have, I'll probably say correct, Dr. Smedi Seka. Is that right or
Yeah,
not?
close.
Close.
Yeah, it's Dr. Smeđi Šećer, which
Smedi
translates,
Šećer, yeah.
yeah, to Dr. Brown Sugar, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
He looks very cool in the film clip. He's got a cartoon
His
and
image 4 times since then.
Yeah,
He's-
basically.
he's what? Sorry.
He changed his image for 4 times since then.
Okay.
But he's a crazy scientist, so it's okay for him.
Yeah.
This doctor, actually, he is a doctor of science. So
Oh, amazing, amazing.
Yeah, he's doctor of engineering, I guess. Yeah, engineering. Yeah, he's one of the most one of the most famous diggers from Croatia, and I think it's like my first contact with this micro scene was actually through him and his parties when he was throwing them in Zagreb, because he's from Rijeka, he's from another town, and he was coming to Zagreb. And I remember that at the time, it was I think 2018, his parties were very popular. And I think I like to think that that was like he's a digger and a DJ, basically. And he was throwing parties, and I like to think that that was the time when he was at his peak of popularity, because shortly
Right.
after we did our interview with him, he moved to Finland because he's doing a postdoctorate research over there, and he's currently living, in Finland. So
Okay.
yeah, and he has a unique perspective about funk music in Yugoslavia, because he thinks his stance on funk music, he likes to research like ethno folk and Roma or gypsy music from Yugoslavia, because his stance is that that is like the true funk sound from Yugoslavia, like the domestic funk. You can
Yeah.
hear it in this gypsy music they were recording. So he has a lot like nice Balkan spin to his parties.
And again, it's interesting. Again, the history, isn't it? It's trying to keep it alive, so that it
Yeah.
isn't lost, it isn't forgotten, and that new generations are able to experience it as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up, we have Degree. I think that's probably right.
Yeah, that's Degree.
That's easy.
That's Saul Badr's partner in crime in the
Cool.
movie, because they're doing the interview like together. They are part. So Degree and Saul Badr are actually part of Croatian funk delegation, which is a loose collective of how many DJs? 16 DJs that
Wow.
all spin funk music, basically, not exclusively Yugoslav funk, but funk in general. And like they're pretty popular, I think.
actually, just let me explain the Croatian funk delegation. It happened like maybe even 10 years ago, because we figured out that if we do a funk party by ourselves, like one or two DJs, we will get like 30 to 50 people.
Yeah.
And we could not do anything with all the promotions and everything. So we decided to join forces. So all the little crews from all the Croatia joined into one big crew. It was called Croatian Funk Delegation. So first time we held a party, 16 of us actually ended up with a full club at midnight. So we actually needed to close the door because 400 people was
Amazing.
already inside. So if I can give like some kind of advice to all the other DJs and funk lovers around the world to join forces. So we held a Croatian funk conference one time per year, and we
Wow.
always get like few hundred people. So this is just because of our enthusiasm and joining the forces. Because we counted like, if every DJ will bring two people, and there's
Yeah.
like 16 of us, it's like 60, 160 or 100 people. But our enthusiasm grew so big that actually few hundred people came.
And it's just being, like you say, a collective, and it's working together and everyone building. And
Criztoz, imagine a night that is actually a big back-to-back night. So our
yeah,
sets were only like 12 minutes.
amazing.
And switch, and in 12 minutes, and switch and switch and switch
Yeah,
for
yeah.
6, and we do it 2 times per one night, so it's actually quite dynamic and fun.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's what we do when we do the sort of We Love 45s live events. It's sort of 30-minute sets, really short sets, and we'll have 10 DJs or 12 and each town is a different people, but it's working together and also everyone sort of being level and on an equal plane, which is, yeah, it's a great thing, and it's amazing to hear it. Right, we have one more person, not to be confused with the UK DJ Woody. No, oh sorry, I think I've missed Woody. Where's Woody gone? Okay, let's do Werft.
Werft. Yeah,
Werft.
Werft is another member of Croatian funk delegation, and he actually Werft and Sol Bader actually co-hosted a show on student radio here in Zagreb. The show was called Stank, and it was about funk music.
We held it for 10 years, but we had too many activities, so we needed to end it. But yeah, we held it for a decade for sure.
It's yeah, but again, doing that for that period of time is a long time, isn't it? And there's a lot of time taken, and you need to work together. But it's important what you can achieve, and nothing. You have to take time to build things. Nothing starts as it ends. I can't find it at the moment, but there's also Woody, isn't there? Who's not the UK Woody,
Yeah,
but there's a DJ. Tell us about him, and I'll see if I
yeah,
can find the
that's
slide.
Slovenian Woody. So Woody is actually a part of another crew from Ljubljana, Slovenia, along with Bakto and Borka. They are called Tetkine Radosti, and they threw parties, I think, like a few times a year throughout the Balkans, and they were like the first DJs to actually spin Yugoslav music into their daily repertoire. Um, and they're like, everyone that I spoke to in the film, every DJ said, no, you got to talk to those guys. They were like progenitors of the style.
Just to give a little more glimpse, yeah, Tetkine Radosti and Smeđi Šećer, when it comes to Croatia, were the ones that first bring out these records that we now call Yugofunk. So all these records that I basically have, since I'm a DJ, Smeđi Šećer helped me a lot because we are friends, and sometimes we will go on a Sunday flea market, and he would just tell me, you need to dig this, because
Yeah.
he spent that thousands of hours listening to the crap music, so he would know that I need to pick this one out. So I'm not a digger, but I just
Yeah,
I
they
was
spend the hours digging to be able
hours and hours and
to
years
work
and
out the rubbish from the gold.
exactly, because
Um,
95% of the stuff is probably shit, but
yeah,
these
yeah,
5% are the
it is.
bombs.
Right.
Yeah, and I would just like to say that when we touch upon like the style of all these DJs that spin these records from Yugoslavia,
Yeah.
that Yugoslav funk as a genre, actually it exists and it doesn't exist depending on who you ask, because
Right.
there was not like that James Brown funk style played in Yugoslavia, and all these bits and pieces of the funk sound you can hear. I think you should broaden the definition to include. So basically, Yugo funk includes like soul, funk, maybe even disco, crossover with jazz sometimes, because I think it's not a genre in a strict sense, but it's like it's basically like a micro scene actually.
Yeah.
It's more accurate, I think. And Tetkine Radosti, I think they were the first, to use this term and to play this kind of music, which will then be described as Yugofunk.
Amazing. We've got a question, and then Solbed, if you want to put another record on in a minute. Enven Zen says, I'm still looking for Marijan Kasaj, Idiyaj, which is a great funk 45. I probably said that completely wrong.
Marian Kašelj. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's actually he can find it easily because our the Mr. Brown Sugar, Dr. Smeđi Šećer, compiled a Yugoton Funk LP, and that track is on this LP, so you can find it quite easily rather than the 45.
He may want the 45 as well, but I think the 45 is probably harder to find.
For sure, for sure.
Okay,
because
cool.
actually, and I need to mention also Degree that we also introduced. He's compiling now Yugoton Bossa Nova LP, and both of the releases are from Everland Records. So if you need to just check it, because they are also bringing out the quality represses in the future, like Boban Petrovic, which is complete disco craziness. Misha Blam was also reissued by them, so if you need the cheaper version of this stuff, you can go to Everland Records.
Amazing, cool. So what is the next record you're going to play us?
Actually, since you mentioned Goce, I would like to play an edit of Zorica Milosavljević Disco Par. So it's like it's a disco couple, but the way I love this record is just because it's a disco track, but it starts and it sounds like Donald Byrd is playing it.
Nice. Yeah, big fan. He did a set for 4.5 days of 45s, which we did in November, so that was cool. Right. Amazing edit there. Really good. And brings it right up to the modern age. You know, that's a record that gets spun by a lot of DJs, I think, in you know, all countries, I think.
Yep, definitely.
Right. Matija, let's go back to you for a little bit. One of the points, and obviously it sort of crosses over with the sort of crowdfunding, which you're doing at the moment, is to get access to the music rights. Now, obviously, there's been difficulty with that, hasn't there? And Franko touched on it a little bit. So do you want to talk to us about that? Because copyright is always important when you're putting out a record or putting out a film about music.
Absolutely. There are 33 songs in the film, and that equals like 33 nightmare scenarios. You know, if Jerko is Legolas, Franko is then Gandalf. Sorry, if Jerko is Gandalf, Franko is Hobbit in that case. I mean, Elijah Wood. Then you know the person who would deal with those copyright is definitely somewhere from Mordor, and the situation. You know, it is easier to bring the ring to Mordor than to deal with those 33 songs. You know, that's really impossible.
And especially in ex-Yugoslav countries.
Yeah.
Why is that more? Why is that more difficult?
Well, when you have to deliver the ring to Mordor, you actually know what the goal is. You have no idea, you know, when you start actually, you know, finding out the names of actually, you know, who wrote the song, who did the music, who is, you know, the publisher. For some of those pieces, it was almost impossible to find it out.
Yeah.
And for each of those songs, you have to deal, you know, with several different people. And out of those several different people, at least one person is always dead, because you know the music is from that kind of 60s, 70s, 80s. So yeah, there's always someone's dead. So you know it's basically, this is something that we did for almost a year now. Two people are basically exclusively dedicated to digging out, you know, who is who within those 33 songs. And we as a team, I mean, especially Franko and Daniel as the editor, they had to change, you know, a couple of songs because we couldn't find, or we couldn't negotiate the right deal for the music in the film. I think that at least 5 or 6 different songs had to be changed during the editing phase because of this process. So yeah, it's a nightmare. This is something that we've been doing for a year now, but we're almost at the end with that as well, with that process. So there's like just a bit of, you know, some bits and pieces that needs to be done, some contracts need to be signed, but finally, yeah, the Mordor is closer and closer each day.
Amazing. We have a question. I don't know. You may be able to help. You may not. I don't know. Enven Zen says, it would be cool if you guys could share some background story about Disco Par. It's sort of a mystery because if you try to find where the original version is released, there is no info on Discogs about label or anything about that. Is that anything you know about Disco Par?
Actually, Zorica Milosavljević should be findable on Discogs, the original track. Isn't it?
Maybe not.
Yeah, I need to double check, but yeah.
You think it may be? Okay. Well, there you go. There's some
because with the disco part, what Gotze did, he put the bigger kicks and snares and made it more DJ friendly.
Yeah.
But as far as I know, it should be manageable to find it on Discogs.
Okay, cool. Thank you for that. Now, coming back to Matjia again, obviously we touched a little bit on the crowdfunding as well. So tell us about that, because obviously part of, not exclusively, but you know what we're trying to help here is hopefully get it crowdfunded. So tell us about the crowdfunding and what it's about.
I think there's 2 main reasons for the crowdfunding campaign. The first one is quite obvious. We need money to finish the film. the film is what we call, in the film industry, in picture lock phase. So, the main edit is done. We're not going to change anything related to picture. But there's still a lot of things that need to be finished, including the music that we talked about. So there's still some licenses and some people that need to be paid. So we are absolutely sure that we are clear and we can, publish the film and into the theatrical release and in film festivals, etc. But there's also, the point of there's many. I mean, this is like a hybrid film. We like to call it hybrid film because there's a lot of elements. It's not only a documentary. We have like 8 minutes of animation. We have some visual effects, and to really, done it in a completely professional way, we still need some time and money to do that. And I believe that the other reason is, since we've been making this film for 7 years or 5, depending on how you
Yeah.
count it. um, we've been so eager to show the world how the freaking thing looks like that we had to do something. And so, yeah, the crowdfunding is one way to do it. Let's, show teaser, let's show something. We started a campaign like a month ago. We're trying to raise 10,000 euro. That's the approximate amount we need, to finish the film and to be sure that everything is absolutely ready and for the film's release. And we reached around 53-54% of the campaign, and we have 10 more days to go. So yeah, this is a big invitation to everyone listening and watching us today, that any amount is perfect for us. It helps us, reach the goal of finally releasing the film. So thank you. Every euro, pound, yen, what we accept.
Whatever it is, every penny counts, and
Every penny counts.
definitely.
Every like or share does the job also. So we would
Exactly.
actually kindly ask the viewers just to be our ambassadors of goodwill and a good film and just spread the word, because like 10-20 of you watching now are actually our peers to bring this story to the world.
Yeah, and it's like you say, if people can't donate, because it is difficult at the moment with cost of living and everything else, but it's free to share, it's free to like, it's free to put a story up or something like that. Because obviously it is a great story and it needs to be told, and it has been told. It's just a case of now getting it out to the bigger audience. Right, I'm going to ask you about one last topic, and then obviously Solbeda, maybe you can finish off with a last tune for tonight. Assuming the crowdfunding goes well, whether it does or not, whether the film comes out, where do you plan to sort of show it? Is it going to be an online thing? Are you planning to sort of pitch it to festivals and things like that?
It's gonna be everywhere. But we're gonna definitely, kick off the whole thing with a major international festival. We are in a discussion with a couple of them. So I guess it's realistic to say that we're gonna have some kind of major, international festival for the film within half a year or something like that. But after that, we're also going to show the film theatrically, especially in the ex-Yugoslavia region, but also abroad as well, depending on some negotiations with different wholesale agents and distributors. And at some point, I hope better sooner than later, it's definitely going to be available online at some streaming platform. So it's a lot of exciting things to come, but it will definitely start, with some international film festival. That's definitely the starting point for the film.
It's great. It's great to hear, and I really look forward to hopefully being able to see it one day soon. But Solbeda, let us have one more record from you. But before that, if there's anything else you want to mention that we haven't spoken about.
Yeah, this is like a great cue to talk about the actual record that is the main topic of the movie. So my character, the character of Franko, that is searching throughout Yugoslavia for this one 45 record. The 45 record in question is called Ulica Jorgovana, or I think it's like Lilac Street. I think, yeah. That was a tune like we know as we were kids. I know that tune my whole life because like it's a radio friendly Schlager pop tune, and it's basically not interesting. It's pretty uncool. But on the B side of this 45, there is a track called Zlatokosa, or Golden Haired Girl. That's like a seminal, the most perfect example of Yugoslav funk sound, because it has like the horn section and the break beat, and nobody actually knew about this B side of this record up until I think mid 2000s, when somebody posted it online, and it was like, oh, this is the B-side for Lilac Street. Because Lilac Street, the single was very, very popular in Croatia as in Yugoslavia. I think it was released in some sources say 150,000 copies, which is a lot for a country like Croatia and Yugoslavia. And everybody, I tell you, everybody knows like Lilac Street. I know it since childhood, but nobody knew about this B-side track called Golden Hair Girl. And I think that's the perfect track to end this session, I think.
Fantastic. Because I mean that is, yeah, it's the holy grail in the film, and obviously you're trying to find it. But it's not just about finding the record; it's finding the stories and why people like it. And yeah, really great. So let's hear it then, Solbeda.
Okay, check for the break. Check for the break because a lot of b-boys go wild on it.
Awesome.
While we wait for the record to be put up, I just wanted to say thank you, Criztoz, for everything, for setting up this interview. It really means a lot to us. And as I said, this is like the first coming out of the movie to Western audiences. So I hoped everybody had a good time, and thanks for listening.
Thank you so much. As soon as I heard about the project, I was like, this is really interesting. I really want to find out more about it. And, got in touch with Solbeda, and here we are, and it's been great to sort of meet you guys a little bit more, finding out more about the film, and hopefully it will be the success that I think it will be for people who love vinyl and love 45s and love stories and love collecting. It's really important. But let's hear this song that is sort of the main star of the film.
Kosa je zlatna, u igri svjetla čarobno sja. Pleše kraj mene, a ne zna da je volim ja. Ne zna da me nije sve, ne zna da dolazim zbog nje. Dolazim zbog nje. Da dolazim zbog nje. Koli će sutra u ludoj igri biti s njom. Ko će je sutra poslije svega vodit sa sobom. A ne zna da meni je sve. Ne zna da dolazim zbog nje. Dolazim zbog nje. Da dolazim zbog nje. kraj mene, ne zna da je volim ja. Ne zna da me nije sve, ne zna da dolazim zbog nje. Dolazim zbog nje. Da dolazim zbog nje. Koli će sutra u ludoj igri biti s njom. Ko će je sutra poslije svega vodit sa sobom. Ne zna da me nije sve, ne zna da dolazim zbog nje. Dolazim zbog nje. Da dolazim zbog nje.
Amazing, amazing record. As Matt Baylor says, pure fire, and as he says, doubles are a must. It's amazing that there's the break sort of in the middle, but then there's also the break at the end as well. It's a brilliant record.
Yeah, and it's really, really suitable, for breakdancing and extending, right?
Yep. That's what the DJs do. We take the two copies and we just extend the break. So
Yeah, and because DJs always, search for two records, it's pretty hard to find. So it was hard for me to find it, and it's started this whole thing and journey of a movie.
which is quite funny because, like Franco said, it went out in 150,000 pieces, and every household had it.
Yeah,
But it just got, I don't know,
just gone.
forgotten on the way, or they just don't
Yeah, and I
know the
guess
value.
I mean, we as DJs, collectors, diggers, we don't tend to throw records away. Whereas people who perhaps had them and are not DJs or don't use them just got rid of them, especially when CDs and digital and all the rest of it came in, isn't it? So maybe that's part of it as well.
Could be. Some people use it as a frisbee also.
Yeah, frisbee. Or, I think there's there's a cool little cutout coming soon, isn't there? I think from someone who's ironing the record.
Exactly on that part, Jerko is telling about people use it as a frisbee, and then he's doing Zlatokosa like a frisbee.
Yeah, that was great. I really enjoyed that bit. Right, let me just set this raid. We've obviously been talking about Yugo Funk. Tonight there's a raid train on Twitch called Planet Funk, which I'm normally a part of, but not this month. But we're going to go and see Vinyl Honey, which she's on at the moment. But thank you all so much. It's been amazing talking with all of you. It's really interesting to connect, really interesting to hear the story behind the film. I hope it's going to be an amazing success. But, it's a story, it's a journey. It's taken you 5-7 years to get here, but it's just the start, hopefully. Hopefully it will just carry on, and we'll see where this story takes you next.
Thank you, Criztoz, again, and thank you all the audience who stuck with us and listened to this crazy story from the Balkans.
Thank you so much. If you hang on there, I'll have a quick chat to you after the show, but we'll hit the raid and then we'll speak soon. Take it easy. Bye, everyone.
Ciao, evenings.